Ken joins us now with sports. And Ken, you're going to tell us about more drug problems in the NBA?
You know, the NBA, like most professional sports leagues and like I guess the whole country, they have a drug problem, but they've also got the best drug program of all the major sports, I think.
Well, who's in trouble now?
A couple of Houston Rockets. You know, Michael Ray Richardson was the first. He was followed by John Drew. And now 2 more NBA players have been banned from the league after testing positively for drugs. Houston Rocket players Lewis Lloyd and Mitchell Wiggins have flunked tests administered by the league. That was this past weekend. And under the NBA's Get Tough drug policy, the players can apply for reinstatement in 2 years. Until then, they're out of there. The report says the punishment was so severe because the players did not seek drug treatment on their own. Meanwhile, the Florida Gators will take their traveling show to Lexington, Kentucky tomorrow night for an SEC game with the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, Kentucky's Rupp Arena has traditionally been one of the toughest places for opposing teams to play over the years, and there are a lot of reasons why.
Well, you got 3 factors. You got tradition, which is unbelievable at Kentucky. And then you have a great coaching staff, and then you have great players. And a combination of those 3 things, and it makes for a very difficult ball game.
The first part of this definition is probably the most important, the tradition. With the basketball tradition in engineering, you're more than likely to find Wildcat proving right. From the 1948 national championship team that represented the United States in the Olympic Games and won the gold medal, to their latest champion 30 years later, the Wildcats have become synonymous with great basketball. And that tradition tends to give Kentucky a subtle mental edge over opposing teams. But not everyone is intimidated by the Wildcats in Rupp Arena.
I like to play in Rupp Arena because of the crowd, and they just make me get in the game just that much more by playing in Rupp Arena, and I'm sure everybody on the team feel that way about Rupp Arena.
It's not particularly a tough place to play. The only thing is when you got 24,000 people screaming, sometimes it's hard to hear your teammates call out plays and things like that, but we're used to it. We've got a veteran ball club, and nobody should be surprised going up there.
By the way, the Wildcats have lost once at Rupp this season, last Wednesday at Alabama. And the only time they've ever lost back-to-back home games was in 1974 when they lost consecutive games with Alabama and Florida. Some sweeping changes are taking place within the NCAA, changes that could have big effects on Gator athletics. Last week at the annual NCAA convention in San Diego, member schools voted to reduce the number of football and basketball scholarships each school can give, as well as reducing the recruiting seasons for both sports. Now, University of Florida Associate Athletic Director Jeremy Foley is just back from San Diego and says Florida voted for the proposals.
We're in favor of them. The reduction of football scholarships, we were hoping that it could get postponed for a couple years because give us an opportunity to get back up to where, where everybody is. Because of our penalties, it might take us a few years to do that. You know, the reduction of football scholarships does not go into effect until 1988, so we can sign 30 now. That was our only concern, is we're not starting out even with everybody else. So, the trend as far as reducing recruiting and evaluation seasons, we're in favor of that because it keeps people out of Florida. It gives them less time to come into the state. And we feel that's to our advantage, to have the state to ourselves, so to speak. And we also feel that the seasons are too long and our coaches are on the road too much. I think it burns the coaches out. It keeps them away from their families. And this way, with a shorter period, they can become more effective. And as I said earlier, keep, other people, will give them less time to be in the state of Florida.
Also, remember last week we told you about a proposal that would make freshmen ineligible for varsity sports, but nothing was done on that proposal, so freshmen are eligible for the foreseeable future. The attorney for New York Mets pitcher Dwight Gooden says no decision has been made yet on how the star right-hander will plead to charges stemming from a run-in with Tampa police last month. Formal charges of resisting arrest and battery on a police officer were filed against Gooden yesterday, while 3 other men who were with him at the time were charged just with resisting arrest. The 2 charges are third-degree felonies, which carry a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine. But witnesses say the police officers beat Gooden with nightsticks and flashlights while he was handcuffed and ankle-cuffed. Gooden will be arraigned next Thursday. And round 1 of the America's Cup Challenger Final has gone to the United States. Dennis Connor's Stars and Stripes eased to victory over the Kiwi Magic from New Zealand today in the waters off Fremantle, Australia. The best-of-7 series continues early tomorrow morning our time, with the winner earning a date against the winner of the Defender Final between Kookaburra 3 and Australia 4. Those 2 yachts begin their best-of-7 series tomorrow. So if you're up, late at night and you tired of David Letterman, you can watch the America's Cup.
So how long until we find out exactly who becomes the America's Cup?
Well, it's best of 7 in the Challengers, best of 7 in the Defenders. The Australian yacht will race whoever wins out of those 2 yachts, and maybe Dennis Conner can get a chance to win the Cup back that he lost 4 years ago.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken. News 5 will be back in a minute. Don't go away.